Hello, alright, Cal. I do apologise, mate. Waiting on Kev. But Kev, how are we? Reds, how are we? Been a while since I've done a video on my channel. Obviously, hope you've all been well. A lot has happened since we've last done a video on Anfield Road TV. Kev, chat, how are we? Most importantly, how are you, Kev?
I'm good, man. Yourself?
Oh, good.
It's been a while.
Yeah, Liverpool losing games and all hell's broken loose anyway. So
same time last year, we didn't win in 5.
yeah.
All the panic was then. Slat out, went on and won the league at a canter. He won't win it at a canter this time, but we'll be there or thereabouts. I'm not panicking, not yet.
But yeah, well, big up there, chat. Big up there, Callum, as well. Tonight, just be a chilled one, really. Got a couple of days spare. Well, not spare. I'm off for the next couple of days, so try and get some streams out if I possibly can on my channel as well. And if you want to get involved, anyone that's watching or listening, do just drop us a message on X ideally, and I'll get back to you as well, and hopefully try and promote your channel if you've got one as well. But what were you doing there? The X-Men. I thought you turned into a West Ham fan there for a while. Yeah, tonight's show, chat, it's not going to be anything too fancy. Speaking about Arne Slot, a little bit about players as well, and just the general consensus from Kev and all yous, really, how well or good this season has gone, really. Yeah, I don't have to... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
History West Ham.
Closet West Ham fan, there we go.
Learn about your enemy. That's how you do it.
Yeah, a bit scary that the way he just had a random West Ham thing.
I have to give it to a friend's father. I have it here because I have to give it to him, and it was brought out in 2000 or something, so it's like 25 years old. So yeah, I'm going to give it to him. I've been trying to give it to him for about 6 months, but we haven't met up. And yeah,
there we go. So as long as you don't have any Evertonian stuff in your gaff, lad.
Yeah.
Some
lemons there somewhere.
Yeah. Some bitters. There we go. Kev, chat, how are we? As we said, Kev, we just said at the top of the show, it's been a bit of a mad season, really, off the back of last season. But if you watched me and Kev's videos on Anfield Road TV in particular as well, we anticipated a bit of inconsistency, really. Obviously, the mass rotation of players in and out of the football club as well. I think it's not a game of FIFA where you bring in 1 or 2 players and everything gels really quickly. In an ideal scenario, that's what happens, really. But Kev,
yeah.
Obviously, you mentioned Arne Slot as well. Different Liverpool fans have got all their own opinions as well. Me, certainly, straight away, I'm Arne Slot in. Give him time, give him a year as well. Of course, whatever happens this season, he will be judged. If we do finish outside the top 4 or 5, that'll be a massive disappointment from the football club, given the expenditure that has been spent on players coming in and out. But of course, we've got, as we've said a couple of months ago as well, and obviously the situation that happened with Diogo and his brother Andre as well. It's very much unprecedented this season. It was a bit the unknown in regards to how the Liverpool players would react, how the football club as well. It'll always be in our thoughts, but I think even at the beginning of the year I mentioned whatever happens, it's going to be a difficult season. Of course, you want to be winning league titles as well, but you don't really know what's going to happen, mate. But in terms of how have you gauged so far this season, mate, as expected in regards to everything? There's a lot of factors really to build into.
There's lots. I'm not going to make excuses for we know what happened with Jada. We know we had to kind of go in and buy both Isak and Ekitike at the same time. The whole Isak scenario is kind of more his doing than ours. We just wanted to buy a player. So that's what that scenario is. He's coming to the point in time now where he will be. Well, I know his injury set him back another couple of weeks, but I think after this international break, you should see Isak starting to drive on it quite a bit now. Getting a bit more game time, especially with Mo Salah heading off to Afghan, and you'll see a lot of Ekitike playing alongside Isak, I think, as well in that scenario. You might even see Chiesa getting a few more games on the side. But with regards to the team, it's gelling in a new team, and we know that Arne Slot was playing. He said it himself umpteen times. He was not playing his own tactics last season. He was playing to the strength of the team that was there, which was Klopp's old formation, the 4-3-3. sometimes with the inverted stepping in, that changed with a bit of a box three. But even in saying that, he prefers his alternate 4-2-3-1 or 4, in that scenario, he likes the sitting midfielders being backed up by the right back, and then and then driving on from there, and that kind of turns into your main midfield, whereas everybody else is barreling on in little intricates. And he bought Wirtz for that type of football, because you see, even though he did work in it for a couple of weeks on the left hand side, Wirtz is suited to more of the central role in a 4-2-3-1 kind of formation, or a diamond up front.
And he was under that understanding when he veered in his interview in the summer. We all knew he understanding that, you said, playing that number 10 role. At the minute, if he needs to play left wing, I think he will. But long term, I think, as you said, his formation will adapt. And any great manager that has ever coached any sports side or whatever, it's always just not getting just one formation he's got to come up with. And this is where I spoke to the lads on Anfield Index as well. I spoke to Gags after post-match. I said he's got to utilise the next 2 to 3 weeks that he's got. Even if it's not with the players, but certainly drum up an idea or some different scenarios, that different formations, different individual players playing in different roles as well. So that's part of his role, though, Kev. Like, in terms of it, and he is under pressure at the minute. But every other manager that comes to manage Liverpool Football Club. But not many managers have won a Premier League title or a league title in the very first season of their Liverpool tenure, have they? So.
Yeah, but look, the people that are shouting slat out at the moment, they weren't around in the 90s and 2000s. I can guarantee you that they were not anywhere near this football club as supporters in the 90s and 2000s, because you wouldn't be calling for a manager's head, especially a club like Liverpool. We don't fire a manager just like that on a women of prayer. We've done it once in our history, and that was with why. And and that's because the whole scenario was untenable. Then the club was going on, there was all kinds of stuff were happening. But as a club, Liverpool stuck by Brendan Rodgers for nearly an extra season after everything went down. Klopp stayed for 9 seasons, did brilliant work, even in poor seasons when we finished maybe 6th or something like that. Still stuck by the manager, still did what we had to do because the football was good. So no, I just think once they start seeing the way Arne's football can actually play, once he's got that right set of gel, like, think of it this way as well, Jack. We were going for Gahey in the very last day of the window, but it wasn't a major that we need to get this done, because we had Leone, and Leone was already ready to go. He looked fantastic. He's playing well in Italy. He was sought after in Italy. He wanted to prove himself and come to England. That dude was ready to go. To come into a starting lineup anywhere. And the fact that we lost him and then Gahey's deal falling through at the same time just left us with Ibu and Virgin.
This is what I'll ask you and probably every Liverpool fan out there as well, as we have seen a lot of the debate, and it's a very good point that everyone's raised, is very much you've got to anticipate injuries, they happen, as well, but has he not sold himself a bit short in regards to what was the point of keeping hold of Joe Gomez? I get, obviously, personnel and having squad players is important, but if it needs be, just give them Joe Gomez, even on a 12-month loan or 10 million, and get the Gahey deal over the line. Because at the minute, the way I'm watching Liverpool, I don't know if you feel, Kev, or anyone watching or listening, is he's caught in between a rock and a hard place at the minute in terms of what he wants to do. As you said, it is very much a Jurgen Klopp side last season. Of course it is. He's inherited a lot of the Jurgen Klopp players. He's been able to bring in not just his players, but a lot of, everyone knows the recruitment level in regards to Liverpool. It's all very much data-driven. Players that certainly suit into a certain model. And Arne Slot was brought in under that understanding of being able to facilitate a formation, being able to adapt to the strengths of the football club, his own strengths as a manager as well. But I look at that Gahey one, mate, and we've got, a month and a half until January. We're not that far off. Go and pay an extra 5 million if needs be in January and get Gahey over the line, because the last couple of weeks have certainly screamed out that we needed a Gahey. Yes, Leone's got injured. You can't really predict an injury of that its severity. But what you can do is prejudge, and the data lads know themselves. Like it's all about having the quality there. And I find that mad. That's the one thing that I do. There will be an understanding. I'm pretty sure Richard Hughes and Slaughter's said already. But I just think we've sold ourselves a bit too short in regards to the centre back position. And this is where, say, Kev, I don't know if you. And this is what we said last year, or go back 2-3 years ago on the videos, is having that ability of Arne Slot. And I've said last year, bring a left-sided centre half in, but that can play left back as well. Start in a base 4 and then adapt to a free centre back position, and then having your full backs push on a bit more higher as well. Players wing.
That David Hancock fella I've been talking about for about 3.5 years now. I just
I don't know if Richard Hughes or someone at Liverpool has been watching my videos from over the years. I mentioned Gakey about 2-3 years ago. I'd love him. He's a phenomenal. Well, you don't need to be a scientist to actually understand. If anyone's got a good eye of football, he's very technical, good. One of the best centre halves in European football. He's got the right age profile as well. He's left-footed. Not many left-footers in European football play at that level. Obviously Bastoni. You know me, Kev, and everyone on this channel knows my two lads from Italy I've wanted for ages as being Barella, but Barella's too old now. But Bastoni, everyone knows that lad's quality. But if we were to bring him in, that'd be great. Sorry, Kev, I went on a bit of a tangent.
He's a Verge replacement, man, if you're bringing in Bastoni, for the future. But it's just I don't know, man. Look, there's a lot going on for me at the moment. I'm slightly peed off with Salah because I think he's been overly selfish because he was desperate to score. I think Wirtz would have had at least 6 goals by now if Salah could pass a ball to him for an open goal, because the amount of chance, and Gakpo is a bit guilty of that as well. And if they and I mean completely open, like tapping open. So, and he was unlucky in that way, and you wouldn't be hearing so much from people. But Slot's a great manager, man. He's going to do what he's got to do. It's a lot of changes, lads, in one season. I was expecting a bit of a blip. 8th at this stage? No, not really. Maybe top 4. But I still think we can drive on.
It's a whole squad, though, lad. It is difficult. And as much as we all hate the word transition season, but it is. There's a lot of rotation, and I think if we are going to a back 3 in possession, with 3 centre halves and then even a Kerkez and a Frimpong as well, much more higher pushed up. So it's a 3 and then your 2 full backs, wing backs, as well.
I thought that was our biggest mistake against City, because I think because of how poor Ibu was playing, Gravenberch had to drop back in. And when he did, it made a complete gap in the midfield, and that's where City took over. And that shouldn't have happened at all, because I think if we played our game, we were toe to toe with City, no problem. We just left that huge space. But then you look at teams like Arsenal and stuff like that, when you're talking about squad depth, they're only 2 injuries away from relying on kids for the season. So they don't have that squad depth there. They're doing well, but an injury to Rice, an injury, I know Odegaard is there, but an injury to Timber, an injury, and they're just dealing with kids for the rest of the season. There's literally 15 and 16-year-olds on that bench. So,
City will win the league title this season.
I think, I could do, yeah. I can't put it past them, yeah.
There's no way Arsenal, I'll say there's no way, of course, the top of the league, but as we said at the beginning of the year, and every Liverpool fan, I've said, beginning of the season, I said it will be City competing with Liverpool. If Liverpool are in the title race, it will be City as well. Arsenal haven't got the cojones to get it over the line. They lack experience, and I know obviously it's a year on from what they've done over the last 2-3 years. Great, lads. But we've all watched from an eye test. The amount of games I watched last year and the year before of very much Odegaard just not grabbing a game by the scruff of the neck. Even Declan Rice, well done, you scored 2 screamers against Real Madrid, 3 kicks, great. But when it's needed, when you've got a lot more of the ball, you've got to drive with the ball. Zupimendi's been a massive plus for them, which is annoying because he was a player that Liverpool were linked with, and certainly would have helped alleviated quite a lot of the issues that we've seen in Liverpool's side this season. But yeah, sorry there, miss. So in terms of chat, keep on getting your comments in. What should be your general consensus as well, chat, in regards to formation wise? We'll do a show possibly in the next day or so in regards to positional play as well. But I do think at the minute, I don't know how you feel, Kev, or chat, let us know. I feel at the minute, when I've watched Liverpool, I do think Slot he's not experimenting, because it's mad, but he's trying to change this, not a lot of the system, but certain individual players in that system to play, because long term, it will be Liverpool, I do feel, post Mohamed Salah there. That's why I do think we will go to 3 back, is go with Ekitike and Isaac up front with a Floody and Vate behind him. That's how you utilise Vate in his best position. Or you play Isaac for in a striker position, number 9 position, and then play Vate and Ekitike as 2 floating 10s. The position in which Vate did play for under Alonso at Leverkusen, that left-sided attacking midfielder behind, I think it was Victor Boniface at the time, or the other lad from Czech Republic, can't remember his name anyway, for Leverkusen. But yeah, do you think we're caught in between? He's caught in between, or do you think? Because he's lobbing on about 5 attackers at one point as well.
Because he's trying to play his formation from Alkmaar, from Feyenoord, and that's what he said when he was coming into Liverpool. He was changing to that because we do have to get away from Klopp's system, because it was found out under Klopp, and we have to move it on. So he's trying to get the Klopp players to adapt to the slot system, and it's not gelling it. When he does play the slot system, you see Wirtz and all that, they do improve, they do step up. Szoboszlai looks great in it as well. But then when you do play the 4-3-3 without the main OG guys from Klopp's team, we're a bit lackluster until they're all in there, and it's too reliant on that system. And for me, I hate saying it, man, but Salah gets in the way of slot system as well.
I think we've all said that. I think long term, as much as it's going to be a very sad day when Mo does eventually, I think I've said it since how weird is it Liverpool spend 200 million on 2 players, unless we didn't know a big chunk of money was coming in the summer, either in January or at the beginning of next season. He signed a 2-year deal for a reason, I do think. But we need to evolve though, Kev. And as you said, it's a great point. But I think every Liverpool fans mentioned that, and
Henry said it, man. He said it's after this. He's not expecting to do the back-to-back the league. He said himself. He said this is what we're expecting. Slot me because we couldn't spend much last year to have you. We're gonna allow Arne to build his team and do what he needs to do, which is basically saying this could be counted as a transition year, but he still wants to see us competing for the title. Now, that mightn't sit well with the fans, but it sits well with me for the next 5 years. So if it means that we build that squad, that's good enough for every position, again, in a new style formation, that can change to 2 or 3 different formations when it needs to, and not just be caught up by the low block all the time, then that suits me down to the ground. I want to see that gone. Definitely.
There's no. I think obviously songs big up there, chat as well. A couple of the news.
It's going to tell a lot in Afghan when Salah goes. What way Slot's going to play the system.
Yeah,
it's a big test for all of them. So Slot's worried about seeing Salah go more than Salah than the fans are worried about seeing Salah go. I'd say, because he's got to force that formation in there. Yeah.
But the long term longevity of the football club will always continue. But as you said, I think both him and Salah, Vate and Salah, preoccupy a lot of the space that the both of them are used to. I think as you said there, mate, perfectly, is you can't have both of them. You can have 2 of the players on the pitch at the same time, but as we've already seen this season, Salah's wanting to do everything himself, and it's understandable.
Taking up some lovely positions, man. Like lovely positions to tap in the ball, lovely positions to field for the 1-2, and he just doesn't receive the ball. It's constantly going back. Jones has been disappointing this year, and they've been backing him up. I know I've always been critical of him,
I don't think Jones has really got a good run of the
good run. He hasn't. He hasn't either. But when he came on, he hasn't made a difference either. And Kays in the last couple of games hasn't made a difference either, and he's been good.
It's a lot more difficult to come into a group, and mate, is when we're 2-0 down or behind in a game. I think a lot of the scenarios that Jones has come into this season are games that are against him straight away. I think there's only been 1 or 2 seasons where he's come on and really impacted the game of football and controlled the game. Because I think statistics-wise, one of the highest passing accuracies in the Premier League this season.
All backwards though, Jack. I'll give him props all day long about all the passing, but with the 90-odd% passing accuracy, I'd say 70-odd% of them are backwards.
But do you not think that's what's Liverpool struggling at the minute, trying to keep hold of the ball?
I think Liverpool are not playing the ball through to the strikers quick enough. I think it's still trying to play to Salah, tuck it inside in the edge of the box, tuck it back outside. Maybe somebody makes an underlap and run, and Salah passes to him. But nobody, like when you see Wirtz picking it up deep or Szoboszlai picking it up deep, and Ekitike makes a run, Isak make play the ball. You've two really good strikers there. Just play the ball early. Change the game up a small bit. Don't keep going for the ticky-tack at the edge of the box. Don't try and play the underlap and overlap. That's our core game, and we'll stick to that core game. But a few times, without chipping it over the top, play the ball to the striker's feet in front of him. As you see him about to tell you, I'm spinning away that way. Get a player that's capable of playing the ball through. Gravenberch is capable of playing those passes. Wirtz is capable of playing those passes. Szoboszlai is capable of playing those passes. Mac is capable. So play the pass.
And Chas, and as I said to everyone, said this for you. What's happened with Gravenberch at the minute? Do you think is he being? I've said it being. We all seen the interviews being here where he said, "Oh, Schlotz allowed me to go a bit more further forward," but he was one of the best sixers last season in European football in terms of what he was doing. Now, is it a case of a lot of the players around him, or a lot of players have changed, or a lot of players around him that are out of form? Or is it a case of Gravenberch not being in form? What for you in regards to Gravenberch role this season? What's happening?
Yeah, I don't understand. I haven't seen him playing too, because I've seen him playing a couple of games where he tracks back well and he's done well. But yeah, he's not sitting there like he did last season. I think he's in his mind. I hope it's not in his mind that he's thinking it was just a transition, or he was just helping out last season doing that. And he still wants to go a bit further forward, and that's not going to happen, because it's going to. You got Wirtz up there, and Wirtz will come good in the Liverpool shirt. Szoboszlai's turned it up another tenfold this season. You know, like how good has he become? Like, you know, he's been the next best thing to Gerrard in that number 8 shirt that I've ever seen in quite a while, and the major
new deal as well. So.
Yeah, and the major drop off obviously is it has been McAllister, you know, for this season, but he is still recovering from that injury. He's still at 70%. He just kind of reminds me of, and I hope it doesn't end up that way, he reminds me of Fabinho a bit, and his drop-off season that time, when after he kind of got a bit of burnout, but it's down to this niggling injury that he has, and his pre-season is still ongoing for me.
Who's this, for Maka?
For Maka. Because he didn't get much games in the pre-season. He was injured from last season. It reoccurred a little bit. He was knocked back a bit, and then I don't think he's fully there. He reminds me of Robbo at the start of the last season. But like, you know, in fair use to Robbo stepping up this season, he's been great the last couple of games, you know.
Yeah, it's just so much. Like, I think a lot of it is, of course, I think there's too many players at this moment in time out of form. We just mentioned Gravenberch. He was playing out of his skin last year in terms of one of the best sixers in European football. McAllister, as you said, injuries. The thing is with Maka, we always know that it takes him about 5-6 games to actually get into his full rhythm. Obviously, we mentioned Salah, Wirtz coming in, both of them wanting to very much hug the limelight, really, which is understandable. The two most creative players in your team as well. So there's a lot. Chat, let us know your thoughts in regards to obviously Jan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister as well, because the great players, they haven't turned in. As you said there, Gavin Boss, I don't think they've turned into bad players. I think it's just both of them played in through a lot of bad form, and the players around them as well certainly haven't helped. As you said with Curtis Jones before, but I think it's a lot more easier to, if you are a player, if you are suffering a lot of bad form, or even if you're coming off the bench and you're playing well, it's a lot more easier when you've got players or a squad that is a lot more confident.
And the spaces that they used to look in, players aren't there anymore that they used to pass to. So that's why Gravenberch might be struggling, because he used to look that way and there was Szoboszlai, but now he's not there. He's there in the thing, and Wirtz is here, and it's there's a lot going on.
Like, Trent's probably the biggest one as well, though. I think every Liverpool fan coming into this year everyone banged the drum and going, oh, we need to evolve, and that's where I think the hierarchy and the data lads looked and analysed and identified Wirtz, and certainly Frimpong for that matter as well, in terms of his. And
I think Bradley's done well. I just think he's been, you know, a little isolated, because when Maka was on the pitch, nobody was helping him trap back. And I think, you know, he was left a bit isolated, a small bit, and with Ibu's poor form on and off, so inconsistent this season, you know, it's made Verge look bad, even on that side, because Verge just had to come across, and a few times he's made a mistake in a couple of games where he's been the worst player as well, you know. But at the same time, look, I will call it a transition year because I've said at the start of this year, I just can't see where we go and play the same formation again. Belong to Klopp, like I said earlier. He's going to try and transition into players. It might cost us a league title, but you might get a Champions League out of it. You know, so it's that kind of season. But I still think we'll be battling up there within the top three at the end of the season. You just can't like, because this time last year, remember, we did go on that 5-game run where we didn't win anything. And, and everybody was just like, oh, the wheels are coming off, blah, blah, blah. No, we lost more games this time around, but it's still, we're still beating Real Madrid. But what I saw in the last 20 minutes of that Real Madrid game is what I expected, which is we were very, very good in the last 20 minutes of that Real Madrid game. We could have scored 3 or 4, and that's the positivity I'm taking away from it. The problem at the start of the game is that Ibu was so off form that Gravenberch stayed back. That gap between him and McAllister and thing was just... It was caused by overcompensation for the defence, and that's the problem. And that's where we lost out the City, because they were just playing these like the lads had just space in there because there was nobody there to stop them.
But,
so
and last season we rocked up to the Etihad, Arne Slot, with a box midfield, and we absolutely battered them. So he's capable of it. So it's not he's a bad manager, I think, but as we said at the top of the show, any manager that manages Liverpool is high expectations. Arne certainly isn't taking a lot of notice from anyone, apart from obviously his technical team and the people above him as well. But that's why he gets paid the big money.
Last season he was studying the players, Jack. This season he's studying the players in his system.
Yeah.
So what it is now is that he's looking at him, he's telling him, I want you to do this, and he wants to see who's learning from it and who's listening to him, and not just going back to bad habits or not tracking back or not doing whatever, which is why he'll praise more to the high hilt, but he's already replacing more. I can guarantee you that now in his mind. And anybody calling for Slot out is just, come on, lads, he didn't live through the 90s and 2000s. We don't fire managers like that, and we don't, we're at a point where there's a good squad there. We've just won the league, and he's won it with somebody else's team, really. And I think we can drive on from here easily. Second half of the season, we're in little learning patterns now. Just international break, grand, come back with everybody fit, laughing. Watch Isak cook in the second half of the season, as well.
And we haven't even got him into the system fully integrated. Now we've got Vert as well. No, I know this is stupid, but we live in a world of bloody Twitter, X, social media, everything. Like, you've got some fella at home every weekend hate watching Liverpool games, non-Liverpool fans going, oh, there's Waits made a sister a goal, and not actually analysed the game properly or critically, and just said,
oh, no. If they've got a blue tick, lads, pay no attention to them boys whatsoever. I've got one myself, but I don't pay for it. Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, there's a difference between, you put it in your bio, my blue tick represents what you call it, I don't create. I'm talking about the blue tick guys that create posts that are just controversial to get clickbait. It's just constant clickbait, lads. You're just getting them ad revenue. They don't care. They probably don't even support the team that they're representing. So just don't fall for that. Never comment on those fellas. They're full of crap.
I don't be one of them. As Callum said, Gravenberch was walking against City. And to that one point as well, though, Callum, it's difficult when you're in that environment. City, the goal that we weren't given, but it's no surprise again. We don't. It's momentum so important in it, Kev, and others. Like, if that goal went in, equaliser, I think it would have been a very different game.
That was a goal.
Not in drastically, but and we don't know. Like,
that was 150 million% a goal.
It's an absolute joke.
I don't understand it. They gave 2 exactly the same goals to City against Fulham and Aston Villa last season, and this season as well. Even they gave a goal.
Was it Wolves?
I think it was against. There was one against. Yeah, somebody asked me on Twitter. So you would give that goal to Van Dijk, but you wouldn't give the goal to Everton, the one that could have made him 1-1 against Spurs. And I said, in dying what you call it, grabbing Vicario. You know what I mean? When the ball was being headed, there's 2 players holding the goalkeeper. How can you compare that? So, but you can compare ones that, as they say, the action is ducking out of the way. That one is a blatant one last season where it's the same guys again, Kavanagh and what's his name, Oliver, and Oliver VAR again, and he says, "Oh yeah, did a Kanji go to kick it or whatever like that?" And but he tried to move his leg out of the way. If anything, he's looking at the ball coming past him. He could have taken it the way he was facing towards goal. He could have put the goalkeeper off. Nobody in any way, shape, or form was anywhere near Donnarumma. His own player was closer to Donnarumma than Robertson was in Doku.
Donnarumma's not the height of me, mate. Donnarumma is like 6'4", 6'6"
Seven or something. Yeah,
7.
he's massive.
He's a man mountain, mate. Like even on his knees, he probably could have seen over Andy Robbo. But it's
somebody tried to say, oh, Robertson was offside because he was interfering with Donnarumma when the corner was taken. You can't be offside from a corner. You know what I mean? Who says that? Lads, come on, learn. You cannot be offside from a corner. He can be offside from when Van Dijk headers that ball.
Yeah,
so what they've done is that in their ear they've said, okay, Robertson and Thing have tussled, not a foul, carry on, header goes, and then they're saying, oh no, it's offside. So it's a joke, lads. It doesn't break any part of Law 11 in the books, which is those 4 bullet points. It's nuts. And even a penalty, I don't think it was a penalty. The same angle they showed it from was behind the whole time. I don't even think he touched him in that. But that was justly saved. Well done, Marmar Philly, for that one, by the way.
He's played quite well this season. But
I
think goals, some of them maybe could have done better, but I think we're just used to having Ali in between. Ali's literally has been for the last 6-8 years, whatever he's been in charge of Liverpool. Like in between the sticks, one of the best shot-stopping one-on-one keepers.
He'll be back for Forest, won't he?
Yeah, I think Slot said that he should be back. But not too bad. If your Mamardashvili, similar with Kirkes as well, those two lads should be learning off Andy Robbo and Ali every single day. If I'm those two lads, I think all of us, you're just studying them and trading. Like, two of the best players in their position for the last 8-10 year period as well. So, yeah.
See, Slot wants these two boys to play like Robertson and Trent.
Robbo.
When they were there the first 2 or 3 seasons with the barrel and that's the 2 fullbacks that he wants now. But at the moment, they're stuck too far back and they're not getting so many overlapping runs. You know, in fairness, no, even when Bradley's on, he does try to get a couple of underlapping runs for Salah to play through to him, but it happens too late in the game and it happens always in the second half, and there's nothing happening in the first half. I think it's too cautious in the first half, so that's what I'll be critical of Slot. Maybe it's not Slot telling them to do it. Maybe he's saying make your own decisions, decide when you want to unleash or whatever like that. But it will fall back on him. So yeah, we're going to have criticisms of both the team and the manager, but also, you know, when you're tracking back the whole time and Salah's losing the ball 5 or 6 times in the space of 5 minutes on the right. Like, I love the guy, legend, up there with Steven Gerrard and Kenny Dalglish and all the rest of them. But there's something going on with Salah there not being able to be the man, and that has to be looked at. So
you're playing. Salah was allowed to do it last year when he was getting goals, like 2-3 goals every game. But at the minute, when he's not contributing in terms of goals and assists, then, as you said, that's where you need to analyse it, and the lads go, right, even half time, take him off if he's not playing well or performing well.
Or tuck him in more. Don't leave him out in that wing, because when he's out in the wing, he's isolated. Make sure, like, if you have a Frimpong on there, Salah's getting more joy inside him, because Frimpong is just going to barrel up the outside of him. And then you're going to see Salah taking shots from the edge of the box and that kind of Salah, which is great. But at the moment, it's just not working, especially if he's trying to transition into his formations. And 2 or 3 of the players don't suit his style, but 2 or 3 of the new players do. So it's just tough call, man, and it's magic that just can't happen overnight, you know. And as long as we're thereabouts at the end of the season, I'll be happy. And we're fighting in at least the Champions League, you know, competition as far as we can get in it. So.
Would be nice if we get a bit of luck along the way, but last year we got very unlucky and finished, was it second or whatever we did, first or second, and we got the champions, really. Obviously that won the competition.
We got first and played them, yeah.
So it's one of them, really. So, but whatever happens this season, if we want to win the competition, then sounds. But that
was the real cup final last year, Jack. Yeah, Liverpool and Paris Saint-Germain over us. That was the real cup final.
Yeah, Enrique said it after the final. He said it was like the winner was from this game. He felt after the final. I think he said that as well. Yeah. But yeah, it's one of them, mate. Chat, keep on getting your comments in. Let us know anything that you want us to discuss. Very much, we'll go over it. What's been your one thing that's done your head in watching Liverpool so far this season? What needs to improve? Songs are saying there, Mac was on the field on the front foot against Madrid, getting in the 10 position, looked drained against City. And as we said there, Songs, I think, preoccupying the space in terms of Salah and VHD preoccupy a lot of the space. But I do feel sometimes, in this way, going into this season and beyond, Mac and VH trying to figure out I do feel, I think even the heat maps do suggest that this season as well, when they've played together, I think sometimes they do congest a lot of the areas that they do preoccupy.
They're playing the same position.
Yeah, so I think, was it Macker and Brighton do like to play in the 10 position behind the striker, and could play in the 6 and the 8 as well. He's a jack of all trades, really, Macker. But
it's a bit better when Macker stays back next to Gravenberch and just allows Szoboszlai and Wirtz to do their thing in front of him, and then arrive late. Because I think that's where he got most of his long range goals from last season, when he was arriving later, doing that kind of stuff. But when he's up there, if he's not, we bought Wirtz for the reason why Macca thinks he's needed up there, and he doesn't need to be on. They don't need to be on top of each other. And it's the same with Szoboszlai, because they can alternate as well, across.
Yeah, and that's the biggest issue, though, Kev. Do you think the fullbacks, that left hand side, as you said, with McAllister going forward, and do you think they are? If I'm McAllister, well, we've seen Van Dijk absolutely fume. We guess every single week he's fuming at him, like having a scrap with him. But the thing is, he can't. Well, he tried that last year, Van Dijk, with Robbo, but with a typical Glaswegian going back at him as well. He's not going to take no nonsense.
Kirkus will learn, man. He learned that listen to the words. Don't drift when you need to drift, and do, and because Kirkus is trying to play Bournemouth football, which is the minute you get the ball, leg it up there, because we need to be up there and give it into Semenyo and them as fast as possible. Whereas Liverpool can control a game, and he has to realise, save the energy, save the excitement, get it ready, use your brain, and then use that burst, afterwards. So it's a learning process, man. We have to integrate these players somehow. We spent the money on them. And and they're good players. Not one of them players are bad players. Not one of them. They're just, at the moment, they're just in a transitional formation team. Is what I would say. Slot wants to play his tactics and integrate them. But if it was for me, you kind of have to change it. You can't really integrate that kind of formation. You kind of have to change it and put the best players that can play in that position right now in it. So if Salah's not working, take him out. If Wirtz is working in the spaces, and he's creating those little pockets, because he's creating a lot of chances and creating a lot of stuff, but because he's not got the GA, or so to say, that's not what it's about. It's what he's doing. There's a lot of stuff to it. Like it's the injuries, the transition. We've Elliott's out of the team, who understood how to play in that role when he came on for more points. Nunez was Mr. Chaos up there. But in fairness, Ekitike is holding his own. He's doing well up there, just as not as chaotic as Nunez. So
we got a lot of money for Diaz, and I know it's difficult. It's the easy thing. I said again when I was on with Gags on Anfield Index as well. I said, maybe we might miss Diaz as well, but I think, as he said perfectly, he said you don't get offered 70-80 million and turn it down, do you? Yeah. With a player with 2 years left on his deal, and the money he probably would have wanted, an extra 150, whatever it would have been. But you don't want to keep a player that doesn't want to be there as well. So it's
a player that disappears in the middle of the season as well. So because Diaz does well at the start of the season, we know this. He does well coming up to near the end of the season. In the middle of the season, he disappears completely. So when you're doing that in Liverpool, and your GA is not as high for the position that he plays, and we had him and Gakpo doing the same thing every week. They'd both receive it, they'd both try and turn on their right, they'd both run to the edge of the box, and then they'd try and shoot. And nobody was going to the byline, and that was a big problem. It's easier for him to get to the byline because the Bundesliga is a weaker league for Diaz. So that's why Diaz is improving, because he's a better player than the Bundesliga. And that's just, it's just, Harry Kane's a better player than the Bundesliga. Musiala's a better player than the Bundesliga. It's just, these players are there, and that's why they really excel there. But you don't see him kind of get to Wirtz is a better player than the Bundesliga, but they will take time to adjust in the league. So, yeah.
Just keep on getting any comments in as well, as I said. Do drop a like on the video as well. Make sure you head over to, obviously, Spider's channel. You do have TikTok now, Kev, don't you? Flying on
TikTok, averaging about 150 new viewers every stream, for our followers, I should say, in that, and anything from 20 to 50,000, which is good. But I'm doing nothing on YouTube, so people follow me on YouTube, I suppose.
There we go. It's all good.
It's growing naturally on TikTok, but it's I jumped from 300 followers to like nearly 5,000 now.
TikTok's its own beast in itself as well, mate. So if anyone does content creating and you're not on X, if you're not on TikTok, get over there and get your videos out there as well. Clark, why are you mentioning the rugby? I haven't even got a clue what's going on in the rugby at the minute. So yeah, whatever. Back to rugby. Another thing as well, though, Kev. Anything that you want to mention as well? I think we will touch on obviously the formations and everything this coming next couple of days as well. Positional play. Anderson as well, a player that I identified about 2-3 years ago. I'd love it if we got him. I think he certainly ticks a lot of the data points that a lot of our data lads will be certainly analysing in terms of what is required of a midfielder. I know Newcastle are trying to get him back. I still find that baffling, the way in which they sold him. But in terms of going into anything that you want to touch on as well in terms of this season so far, that is really disappointed you at the minute.
Well, in saying that, like I know how good Kirkes can be, but I said it to you about 5 or 6 episodes in a row last season, Jack. I'm worried about these Kirkes links because I smell a Moreno, and I'm not fair off so far because it's just like a headless chicken running up the side. But there's a football player there that's better than Moreno, and once VV at that stage when Moreno there, he didn't really have Virgil to kind of tuck him in and teach him the ways, but no, he has, and to go under Robbo, if Robbo is going to do that pre-contract to go back to Celtic.
That's a set to happen. 100%.
So it's the best place for him probably to finish his career, but it's but like at the same time, we players that I still think we're going to be in the market by the summer again for another left back. As well, like when maybe we won't be in January because we have Joe Gomez there to be able to do utility play whenever we need him.
I feel sorry for Joey, lads.
I do as well. He was so good last season.
But I know he's made up. He's got probably earning a lot of money. He's not too bothered really, but like he's a player that doesn't whinge at all, is he? And especially that's one thing that does my head in. Don't know if it does Joey's head in or whatever. But when he's fit, which is quite rare in his Liverpool career, sadly, play him. I don't understand. Like, especially the way we've been playing, and we've been playing in and out of form as well, and you're wanting to go possibly Arne slot. I think the only way I'm saying is go to a back three system, but when you are playing a back three system with 2 flying fullbacks as well included in that, is you're relying heavily on a lot of your centre halves to be fit. And if we do switch to a 3-back formation, who have we got left? The kids in the under-21s, literally, because you'd have Gomez, you'd have Canati, you'd have Van Dijk, Leone once he's back. That's 4 out of the 3. Gay here, if he comes in January, great. I do think we still need another 2 centre-halves. If we do sign 2 centre-halves, but the Gomez situation, mate, is it a case of Arne just not rating him, a bit similar with not Milos Kerkez, like Chiesa as well? We've all said, why is Chiesa not getting a game? I think it just might be a point that Arne just doesn't rate him at the minute.
I know, but I just think because Gomez came back again about 3 weeks ago from an injury as well, and I think they've been warranted to just be light with him, and just give him small minutes and stuff like that, because there's probably some sort of tear that needed replacing, because those tears are more needlier to get back than like a full break or something, so yeah, I would say it's something to do with that, but he doesn't complain when he comes on. You never hear him moaning. Everybody says he's the nicest guy in the squad. For me at the moment, I know when Mac is tired and you see him tired like this, I'd be banging on Gravenberch and Szoboszlai in that position next to him, or if at a canter, maybe Jones in there next to him with Szoboszlai ahead of him. But you could also say like Gravenberch and Szoboszlai in that position. But then what about Chiesa on the right, since if Salah's gone to Afghan, and just leave him out there in a natural position that he knows what he's doing, and play those games. We've got a nice run of games coming up now, Jack.
Much easier as well, Chas. Much easier than what we've beginning of the year. And the thing is, as soon as Arsenal's goals dry up, I know you know me, Kevin, Chas, if you watch me down the years, I've bantered Arsenal for many years going, set pieces. I'd love a set piece goal from Liverpool at the minute. I'd absolutely bite your hand off. For one. But
it's just a weird one. Look, that game was demoralising enough the other day. I don't know what's going on with those referees, man, but something needs to be looked into them as well. I'm never that kind of guy to say it, but there's something weird going on there. You don't give those other goals. No, the one against City and Liverpool. You don't give those kind of goals for Van Dijk and then or for the games for City that City were getting, and they denied. Every time it's Kavanagh and Oliver involved, man. The kick in the chest on Dorku, the second card that Kovacic should have gotten to send them out, that would have cost them a league title then as well. And
but that line out that elbows Robbo.
Yeah.
But it got. We remember doing the videos.
Yeah.
Clear as day. You went bang in a bit like. But they turned it round as he was flicking his elbow. Oh, sorry, mate. I haven't done that, and he has the car park or whatever, and just went whack.
Yeah. That's like my missus walking in the door and said, "I'm pregnant." What are you talking about? I only fell over. You know what I mean? It just makes no sense.
It's the way that was done. It's ridiculous. It's and I bet you a lot of those referees have a disdain, not liking of Liverpool. But come on, lads, at least not make it blatantly obvious.
They're blatantly obvious because when David Coote did it, it was comfortable enough for him to start talking like that about Liverpool, which means that they were all talking about it together. That's nuts.
But,
nuts.
But there's no review of the refereeings at the minute. You just get them on a show and get them to.
But there's other referees. Actually, I don't know if you've seen the one that there's one lad there posted a video today.
Is it Keith Hackett? Is it?
Keith Hackett, the whole thing. He said he was flabbergasted that it wasn't a goal. He can't believe it. But then there's another couple of referees who have been messaging this journal guy, but he was told he couldn't say the name, and he said that he said that they want to call him cheats, but they're not coming out and just saying it. They can't just come out and just say it, and that's from current referees that are there, and linesmen, and former referees that have been messaging him saying this needs to be looked into. So,
but
and I'm not a conspiracy guy, lads. So.
Yeah, tinfoil hat's out with the ready as well.
Yeah.
See, Arne Slot turn up when tinfoil hat 1 week. But we're not to say that we as fans we speculate on all that, but the managers, I'm pretty if I'm honest, I'm surprised. A lot of stuff he has to just hold his tongue with, because he must sit there, even when you see him on the touchline going just laughing his head off and just shaking his head. It must frustrating, because even if he comes out as technical area and just gives it out, the referees are just so quickly to just distribute a yellow card. All we want is a bit of consistency. But and even Arsenal fans have been saying about Oliver for a while as well. But it's difficult.
Panel. That's all you need.
It makes it. But the thing is, have you seen the video in the audio chat? Have you listened to the audio there from the City game? It was so unanimous. It's all offside. No one was going, wait, hang on, let's just wait a second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all.
It was this is our opportunity. This is what we want to just get through this and say what we need to say, and that's what it felt like to me anyway. That's nuts.
So that was the Kavanagh mark, was it? Yeah, Arsenal been doing the 1-0s. I think we'd all take a couple of 10-1-0s as well, but their set piece goals will eventually dry up, and that's where I think if Liverpool are still in the mix, it's not over yet, but the next 5-10 games are extremely pivotal. We've just got to keep on winning, doing what we're doing. But Arsenal are their own worst enemy half the time when they're in a title race or any form of competition. They overthink everything.
This is the stats that I keep bringing up to people, and these are ones I looked up myself. I didn't read them anywhere or do anything. But Arsenal have only passed 84 points 3 times in 26 years. Let that sink in. In their peak teams, their peak whatever, they've only surpassed 84 points. Liverpool and City have been doing that yearly for the last I don't know how long. And that's the last, bar 1 or 2 seasons for each or something like that they haven't surpassed 84. We've been doing it non-stop, and that's the whole point. Regardless of what results happened at the earlier season, City often went, losing 7 games or whatever, and still ended up on 87 points or something like that. When it happens. So the thing is, though, Arsenal rarely ever go above 84 points, and they kind of have to do this, which means they're going to have a flawless season. And even after the couple of losses, or no, they haven't lost yet. If they was just draws, isn't it?
I think they have lost.
Us? Yeah, what am I saying?
It's us. Yeah. But,
so I meant outside us, but they've drawn and stuff like that. Even the last game. So the results are there. The bad results are there from. We just have to be ready to pounce when it happens.
So that's saying though, and chat, like that's what does probably all of us. Edson is you watch teams when you come up against Arsenal play a lot more expansive football compared to than what they do against Liverpool. However, forgot to mention it as well though, chat. As we're going quickly touching back on Arne Slot as well though, Kev. Set pieces is why I'm mentioning Joe Gomez. Put him in like. We can see it in that, and even what is it the throw in for Palace, and it's where it's coming in for players playing through bad luck, and it's just poor decision making. Was it Kirkes like decides to not put it on an opposite foot to get it up the pitch, puts it out for the throw in, and like 10 seconds later they scored off the throw in. Was it the Forest one or a couple of weeks ago where we can see it the Brentford game? Literally, and Robbo said after the post match, we'd spent all week like training on throw-ins and everything. And what did he do in the first 5-10 minutes? It's like
concede the throw-in,
all your planning goes out the window. Like, and if you're a teammate, you're going, what are you doing? Like it's just poor decision making at the minute as well. Like, but in terms of how have you taken to the set piece conceding? What's that down for you? Is it decision making tactics from Slot? What is it, or is it a culmination?
Yeah, I think it's overcompensation from the likes of Van Dijk and whatever, thinking that they need to be in this position that they're more worried about rather than the position that they're naturally supposed to defend, because they don't trust the lads that are there to clear it. But I mean, Ibu's great at clearing a header for the most part. Joe Gomez is great at clearing a header for the most part. It's that back post issue when it does get there. I never understand. We've had the same issue for a couple of years now, where if the ball bobbles or whatever and it gets to the penalty spot in the box, there's nobody there to clear it. It's like we've made a gap between ourselves and the last line and outside the box, but there's nobody like here. So fellas are just standing there waiting to take a strike, and it makes no sense to me. So somebody needs to take more responsibility and get into those positions. When Gravenbercher's on form and he's not tied up with people, he's there. Or Mac is there. So
we've got a team of big lads, though, mate. And one of the biggest things that I think, when you look back on it, Núñez attacking the front post was so clinical for Liverpool. Yeah. Like, he used to get his head on every single front post. And that is so important. Like, at the minute, we've got Gakpo, we've got big lads. It's all right having all these big lads, but the size of, like, Jeremy. And it's why I do understand why Frimpong, even when he has been fit, he's not played. Because that's one of the biggest issues that Liverpool needs to address as well. If you are in the starting 11 of Frimpong, teams will very much identify his height as well. Could you imagine if we had Frimpong against Brentford?
I think Bradley's there as our more defending right back, and Frimpong is there as our more attacking right back. When we're against teams that maybe decide to come at us, but that's down to Klopp to call those kind of tactics. I think Frimpong was a risk worth taking no matter what, because he was so cheap.
30 million.
So whatever he was, 25 or whatever million it was. And Bradley is there. There's other guys coming through. I mean, there's that kid as well in the youth system that he looks even better than Ingham Moore, to be honest with you. Abe, is it? Young lad, 15, something like that, 15, 16 or something like that in the youth team there as well. He's very, very good. So he's one for the future as well to come through. So the future is looking good that way, and there's no better club to be at for those lads than Liverpool, who will get their chances. Look at Rio this season. He's already had a few games under his belt, I'd like to see him get more. Gakpo, I know he can score goals, man, but sometimes I just find he slows up the play too much. When we're on that, the minute we get to him, then it's just the sidestep starts, and I'm just like, play it, 2-touch, bang, bang. When we play 2-touch, we destroy everybody.
And that's where Arne Slot, and even this is why it's been refreshing over the last 3 weeks. I know Robbo played in City and he got, well, it wasn't just Robbo, but the whole team got battered. But City can do that to any team in European football. Done that to countless occasions to the great Real Madrid sides. But yeah, it was a case of, as you said there, and this is where the Kirkes, not debate, but the applying of Kirkes in a Liverpool system. Like the combination play, I think everyone said, as you said there, I mean, Gakpo's so tunnel vision at the minute. Like, I get that's the way in which he plays, and I love Gakpo, but just please get your head up, mate. It's just poor. But this is where it comes into a case of whoever's playing on the left-hand side of a midfield, or the left-hand side of the 6, or number 8 position, like the triangle between Obviously Gakpo, Kirkes, Robbo has been in the last couple of weeks, but it's so poor, mate. And that's easily coached. I say it's easy coached, but that's what Arne will be doing in training grounds week after week as well. Just Cody, just get your head up, please, lad. A bit similar with Salah sometimes. He tries to do too much.
I've been saying that about, yeah. He's great at the back post when Salah gives a crossing, because that's where he's at his most devastating. And once or twice he gets a whirly from the edge of the box on that left hand side when he tucks in. But every single time watching him doing it and then failing 47 times out of 50 is something that's just tiring to watch. So I need more ingenuity going up that left hand side, which is why Rio runs to the byline, which is why Chiesa runs to the byline. Even Wirtz runs to the byline. Taking fellas on when he's holding it up there. So I just don't see it. You'd see a lot more from Gakpo if he was able to do if he would do these things instead of always cutting back onto the right. Because the defense knows where they're going, because he's not even crossing it. He's just going to lay it off to the edge of the box. We're going to recycle it across again. Then we're going to lose the chance. And we get counter-attacked then or something like that. So it's becoming a bit predictable when it gets to that left-hand side. Yeah, that's what I would say. And right with Salah in there, but yeah.
Yeah, 100% there. Jack, you want to get any comments in as well? Let us know. Anything that you want us to finish off on tonight. Probably go for another just 10 more minutes now, and we'll be back. Hopefully tomorrow as well. Big up there, Reno. Big long comment there. Much appreciated, mate. He's saying, I don't think we can retain the title where we're too slow off the ball and too inconsistent on it. Our team's running stats have been lower than some of the opponents, 100%, mate. Something has to change in training as well. And yeah, that's why Arne gets paid the big money though, Renault, isn't it, mate? But Arne Slot, and there's been so many times, and this goes to a point as I just mentioned before against Brentford. Robbo said after the interview, yeah, we've been trading, we've been practicing, but I think sometimes the players have to take personal responsibility as well in terms of what they do and what they're doing in certain in-game management. Like, you can't be, if you train for the whole week to not give away corners and free kicks or whatever to their strengths, don't do it, lads. It just comes down to some players taking the game by the scruff of the neck sometimes. Gerrard done it for how many years, Kev? Where he wasn't playing with a lot of highly caliber type of players around him. Certain seasons he had Alonso, obviously big Sammy Ippy behind him, Pepe Reina when he was in form in those great years.
Gerrard made about 20 different players to look
Kiddies.
3 levels above what they were. Yeah, so because of the passes that he put onto their feet and made it so easy for them to get the ball into the box where in positions without having to do any work.
But he led from the front, didn't he? Regardless of tactics, he was a player that on the pitch. And this is where it comes down to post salary that you got Viet, you got Ekatike and Isaac. Sometimes you can coach a lot of things. What you can't coach is players just having that inability just to demand and dominate a football pitch.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Look, it's there for all to see. I think. Look, once we start seeing, maybe AFCON will do it. I don't know, but once we start seeing Isak back and Ekatike,
you're going to have to step up.
100%. Like, but they should be doing that anyway. This should be already happening now as it is, but. If the lads are tired, tell the manager the feeling tired. Don't just play for the sake of playing because they want to get minutes on the pitch. If they're tired, tell them. Right? Tell them, no, I'd rather 20 minutes today, Gaffer, if that's all right. That doesn't mean you're giving up. You're just doing what's best for the team. But at the same time, once we do see Isak in there and we do see Ekatike kind of coming in a bit from the left, you might even see, weirdly enough, because of the players that we have in it, you could see a 4-1-2-1-2. With Barrel and left, things that can bring that box system up into the middle diamond, as well, which would be neat to see because we haven't seen that since Rafa Benitez.
Was it the Rodgers era of playing the diamonds?
No, that was the upper diamond, not the middle diamond. So the upper diamond was the four, like the Fab Four, if you want to call
Christmas
it.
Tree.
The Fab Four, but it's the one with the diamond in the middle of the park. The one where Gravenberch is sitting there, and you could have 2 lads either side of him. And they can alternate, they can alternate to a box, and they can alternate to everything. So,
and that's where your full backs push on, in that.
That's where your full backs push on, and all of a sudden, instead of having 4 in the middle, you have 6 on the attack, and Gravenberch sitting there doesn't have to drift as far, but he can be very, very. But in that position, you really do need a creative central defensive midfielder that can play the ball long, short, So this is where it calls. I still think that he's going to get competition in for that position. Because Gravenberch's been great, he really has. You do need competition for that position. Wataru's not doing it. Wataru's just the general or the XL, or what would you call it? The Duracell bunny that comes on and just does what he needs to do. The XL bunny, XL bunny, Duracell bunny that comes on and just does all that kind of running around or whatnot. But look, we've players there, man, that can pass around the team very, very easily. The problem is we're playing the latter side of Klopp's football right now, which I didn't like. Whereas last season, which is holding on to the ball too long, just playing the obvious pass, getting caught out, and just the amount of times early on in the season that we're after getting caught out by interceptions in passes has been nuts, and it's just been lazy mindset. The player passing it can see that your man's going to intercept it, but he makes the pass anyway because he was told to. So, I need to see a bit more of the pace come back into our passing. Whatever about the defending, I don't think the defending has to worry about ourselves if we make the other team tire out like we used to, and just pass quicker. 2-touch football, pass quicker, pass early as well if you can. So none of this, holding on to it and then just playing it. I can see that the player is going to turn and pass it out to the fella on the wing 10 minutes before he even does it.
Yeah, and this is where big up their songs as well. We'll do a show. I think tomorrow should be. Chat should be live 11:15, or maybe possibly tomorrow morning, depending on when Kev's available or whatever. We'll do a show tomorrow. What was I going to say? Sorry there, chat. If you're a regular, to apologise. Forgot, what was it? In terms of player-wise and structurally-wise as well, it's completely gone over yet. Sorry there, chat.
You're welcome, Jack.
Yeah.
You were just going to thank me, wasn't
you? Yeah, thank you, Kev. No, what was I say? In terms of system-wise, as songs, we'll get to songs. That'll be a good starting point. Tactics don't determine the thousands of the players and decisions are made on the pitch as well. Yeah, and that was it. Yeah, but as you said,
it depends on the formation that they're doing. That it determines what those decisions are in that position. But yeah, I know he's right. He's right too as well.
Yeah, that was it. It was going to say the formation wise, and this is where Arne, and that's one thing that we lauded the manager with, or head coach last year as well. He is a genius, but he's going through a barren run of form. And I know obviously the statistics are there to speak for themselves anyway, but I still believe, and obviously I'm pretty sure you, Kev, you still back the manager as well, and a large majority of us do as well. But there will be eventual cut-off points. Say Liverpool lose like 10 out of the next 12 games in the league. I don't think he'll be at the club.
Yeah. That kind of scenario is unattainable because that's a core system failure right there. So I get it.
Yeah.
But
that's with the change. Yeah, with the formation change as well, as you said, go with the 4-1-2-1-2. There's players that utilise a lot of formations, and we'll speak on that tomorrow as well. But yeah, there we go. I do make notes actually sometimes. It's all good. Chat will be live tomorrow night, or possibly I'm open trying to going into the next couple of weeks as well. Try and possibly do the shows in the morning. As I said, we'll do a lot of work for Anfield Index as well. So I'll try and do my shows in the morning if I can. I want to try and get into a bit more of a better routine anyway. And
I'll be in the new house, so I'll have more stuff set up again to even help out in that way, which is great.
Yeah, so fingers crossed, chat.
As you can see, like I'm still got a blank window behind me. Yeah, I mean, there's no the thing here is on the floor, folded and ready to go to the new house. So close. We're a couple of weeks away, I think. So
yeah, but chat, a massive thank you. Do apologise not being much content on this channel. But hopefully try and get into a bit more of a better rhythm and be a lot more content. But as always, Kev, thank you very much, mate, for coming on. But most importantly, what's that song? Are you surprised as well? I know I am. I don't know with regards to doing more shows. I don't know. I don't know what that's referring to anyway. But there we go. Yeah, it's Max saying.
Shut him, Kev. Oh, this question.
What's that?
What Mark says there. I get that at least 300 times a stream.
Yeah.
Show the game, please, mate. What are you doing in the way? Get out of the way. Get out of the way because I've got the background of Liverpool. So it's just lads coming, there's just a load of African lads and Indian lads coming in telling me to get out of the way of the screen so that they can watch the match. I'm like, that's not the match. It's a video of my phone and I have to keep explaining it.
No, it's I love watch-alongs. You do get some great chat.
Yeah.
Even rival fans as well. Well, rival fans have been non-existent pre this year anyway. They've been a bit quiet, haven't they? But even everyone's piping up. But I'll tell you, as soon as Liverpool start winning games of football, which I know it's difficult at the minute, but get behind the gaffer, I say. He's still learning. He's still young in his managing career as well. And especially the players as well. We're going through a barren all-time run at the minute.
I think he's grand, man. He just needs to be a bit more ruthless. That's it.
Yeah, and that's where he'll learn as well. He's a young manager, young in the Champions League football as well. But hopefully for going to this year, the back end of this year, then he'll learn a lot more. And he certainly needs to learn. But if he doesn't, then Liverpool will make the eventual decision. But you know what? We'll get behind the manager even more because he certainly needs that help and certainly the players as well. But Ed's...
And it doesn't help when Zidane is turned around and saying, actually, there's a very big... When he said he's getting back into management, there could be a very big position for me very soon. And I'm just like, don't fuel the fire, will you? You know, so I'm sitting there going, don't fuel the fire. Arne's okay, leave him alone.
No,
you know what I mean?
I'm telling you, Xabi Alonso will be sacked in the next 12 months. Have you seen chats? Well, quickly to conclude on this, no one's not seeing it. Real Madrid, like some of the speculation that's going around, like because Alonso wants a bit more of a better structured, like understanding and proper well drilled, like he did that at Legus, and all the players are kicking off because he's demanding that they turn up at training on the right time and all that. And but it's apparently that's why Vinny's kicking off and a lot more of the senior players are there. But I do think give it another year, Alonso will be out of Real Madrid, and which is mad in its own self as well.
They realise they play football, right?
Well, yeah, well.
Man,
There's so many, there's a lot of egos. Yeah, they got so many.
They treat them like gods there, and the egos just take off on their own. You know, it's nuts. So
yeah,
the lads are shit because you got beat at Anfield a week and a half ago. You know,
well, we can't say nothing.
I would, you know, we're not at our best at the moment. You know, but yeah.
Hopefully we don't meet that. And Thibaut Courtois, though, hopefully we don't see him for another 12 months. Thibaut Courtois, a joke of a goalkeeper anyway, but that's another show.
Against us only.
Yeah.
Always against us.
But yeah, Mark, it's alright. I've been accused on YouTube to saying that I'm putting on a Scouse accent.
Funny thing is, what's his name? Alonso won 15 out of 16 games.
Yeah,
but it was that's nuts. Like what did he be doing over there?
Yeah, so it's mad chat. If no one's seen it, go and have a little look on the Real Madrid news and all that's kicking off anyway. But it's one of them. But chat, thank you as always, Kev. Thank you as always, everyone for tuning in. You are watching on the repeat and you're watching up till this point. Absolute legends. Do get involved. Any of the talking points that we've mentioned tonight, we've gone a bit all around the house anyway. Do let us know your thoughts on all the players, how you've gauged so far this season. Of course, would be nice to be sitting top of the table, but there's plenty of football still to go. But Eds, I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, as well. But Eds, Kev, thank you as always for coming on board. And anyone that wants to jump on, do let us know. Hit us up on X or whatever, and you're welcome to jump on if you want to as well. But Eds, look after yourself. I'll see you, me and Kev, hopefully see you tomorrow as well. But look after yourself, Eds, and you never walk alone.
Keep looking after yourself.